Gay son or thought daughter? First question.
I'm here with Harrison Gordon.
I don't think we can say that word.
Oh, no.
Walk us through what you're wearing.
All right. We got New Balance shoes, Sam's Club socks. The pants are from Duluth Trading Co. Got them before the tour. The Dungeons & Dragons t-shirts from Walmart. The hat is from Old School Hats. The bracelet was given to me by a fan.
What's the best Dungeons & Dragons edition?
I really like 5th, the original one, the original 5th. 3.5 is fire though. It's just got too much going on.
Yeah,
it's just got a couple too many feats.
I'm Jake. I play guitar in Harrison Gordon.
I'm Jagger. I play drums. The hat we got from the people who make our hats.
So,
Yo.
This is a
That's also from Walmart.
Walmart T-shirt. Dolly Parton. These are, I don't even know what brand the fucking shit. I don't know, just some really cheap ass athletic shorts. I was wearing some bloody jeans earlier, but it got really, really hot, so I changed. And then just some fucking white New Balances.
Oh yeah.
Fire. I'm in a Heart to Gold shirt. Shout out Heart to Gold. Some chinos my mom bought me from Walmart, and some Vans.
Hubcaps?
What was your guys' last meal?
Ooh,
Del
I had Del Taco.
Del Taco?
I'll eat a little Del Taco.
I went to a taco truck across from the Del Taco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play a little this or that.
Yes.
Vinyl or streaming?
I'm like, I gotta say streaming. I'm not really a vinyl guy personally. I get it. I get the whole thing. It's cool. Wax is dope. It's just not a hobby for me. I have really low attention span, so I like to just be able to listen to shit like boom, 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 boom. But for everybody else, they probably will say vinyl. That's a cooler answer.
Vinyl, because we got it.
Yeah, I'd say vinyl too.
We don't sell damn streams at the merch table.
I just picked up 2 Huey Lewis and the News records at Rasputin Music. That place was cool.
Shout out Rasputin.
Yo.
I love
yeah.
that place.
Is there actually any like specific vinyls? Like, is there like a cherished vinyl you guys have?
I got Weezer Blue Album record store there. It's got like a bunch of demos on.
Oh, okay, nice.
I have a like mispackaged Man on the Moon 2 by Kid Cudi, and it has two A sides. And it came without a B side.
That's sick.
But like I'm missing half the records. So
Yeah.
it kinda sucks, but it's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Oh, Pepsi. I like
Oh.
Pepsi Zero Sugar. It's so clear of any Coke product.
Valid.
Yeah,
Coke
Coke
Zero.
Zero for sure.
You know, I'd have to agree with Harrison here. I'm a Pepsi guy too.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a
okay
Dr.
being
Pepper guy than all.
Yeah, that's very
all
fair.
the
That's
time.
I could agree with Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
Bring back modern baseball or title fight.
I'd say Title Fight because they were moving a little more as far as sound goes, and also I like all of the. Well, I like Slaughter Beach Dog probably more than I like modern baseball. So I'm cool if they just keep doing that. But like I like Glitterer from Title Fight, and all those guys are in Citizen and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's the band I'd rather see play like one reunion show. I'd much rather see a Title Fight show.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree, because we already kind of have Mobo still. And just to see Title Fight live would be ungodly sick.
Would you agree too?
Hard agree. Definitely with Title Fight.
I feel
Probably
like-
a little bit more influential for us too.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like Mobo is also a band that it's like all those songs are about being 16 years old. So I feel like to see them come back now in their like later 30s, like I don't know how old some of those guys are, but I feel like would be an odd kind of thing. Whereas I think the title stuff's a little more timeless, like as far as like the maturity on it.
How has it been touring with Free Throw?
It's been really cool. They've been it's been the bestest. They've been really, really nice to us, very accommodating. They don't really care that we're pretty loud and annoying and obnoxious and kind of punishing to be around. And the crowds and all the shows have been super duper fun. So yeah, it's been amazing.
What are your favorite venues in Illinois?
Metro in Chicago is really, really cool. There's some cool DIY spots kind of around. Castle Theater in Bloomington is where we just played our last like headline show, and that was really cool. And then kind of downstate, there's a lot of really cool house venues that we've gotten to play a bunch of times that have been super dope.
What's the thing about California that surprised you the most?
It was cold when we got here.
It was cold.
Yeah,
when we
it was
got here.
cold.
I didn't think it was gonna be
This
cold.
is the first. We've been here for like almost a week, and it's the first nice day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yesterday was nice,
no, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's true. But yeah.
So that was definitely surprising.
What are you looking forward to the most this year?
I mean, outside of this tour, I think we're gonna start writing a second record and get that ready. That's kind of our goal by the end of the year, is to have like a second record fully done. So I think just seeing how that shakes out and develops is probably the most exciting part of the year. As far as like playing more shows, but mainly just locking in on trying to put out something that's like super special.
What are your favorite musical influences, and are there any that would surprise people?
There are definitely some I think that would surprise people. I think the obvious ones would be like Jeff Rosenstock and the band Pup, and then a lot of like older school like punk stuff. I was like kind of a ska kid. That's definitely a big influence. And then I was also went through like a pretty big indie phase when I started writing songs. So some of that kind of more like mainstream stuff that I think people would not associate with our band. Like we cover some Kings of Leon songs and stuff like that. All American Rejects, shit like that I feel like is not like super like alternative and cool, but it has influenced us a lot. And then like, I don't know, Bob Dylan and all the classics. That's the stuff I grew up on. I'm a big Counting Crows fan. I feel like that would surprise people.
That does surprise me.
Yeah.
You know, now that you mentioned that you had an indie phase, that kind of adds up with the first record, because I was listening to that and it sounds a little different than where your music is now.
Yeah, we definitely kind of moved away from that. Not that I disliked it. It was just now the influence is almost more in like the punk and hardcore scene.
Yeah,
is
I
where
would
we get
say-
like big influences for our start music, especially now that we write together. It's super influenced by hardcore and stuff.
I would say it's like a lot of hardcore, and for me, a lot of like pop music. Like it's like two kind of like opposite ends. But
Yeah.
like any like good like punk band, like emo band, like metal band, indie band, they're all just writing like pop songs through a different filter or a different lens. So I mean, like that's definitely a lot of pop and a lot of hardcore too.
Do you usually start with lyrics, melodies, or something else first?
It's usually strumming on the guitar and coming up with melodies, and then like I usually come up with melodies and lyrics at the same time. It's very unlikely that I have a melody without lyrics, because I'm kind of thinking about like vowel shapes and shit like that. And usually when I start writing, I kind of start writing like, and then the words kind of slot in a way. So it's kind of all at once usually. It's not like, there's only been like one or two songs I can think of that we've had that like the instrumental came first and then like the chorus got developed. But it's a lot more like all cohesive in a weird way.
How has your songwriting process changed over the years?
It's definitely streamlined a lot more. I used to like have to sit down and really try and write stuff, and nowadays I feel like I can kind of just like come up with shit on the fly a lot better. We write more as a band now, so we'll just kind of jam on something and it'll develop, which is not a thing I was ever thought I was capable of doing before. It was a lot more of like really trying to like figure out what the song is, and now we can just kind of let stuff fly and it develops over time.
Okay. How do you prepare for a show? Are there any pre-show rituals or something you like to do?
There used to be some our pre-show ritual used to be drinking a lot before every show.
Classic.
As we played more and more shows, that stops working. So our new pre-show ritual is very boring, but it's literally just like, don't eat 2 hours before you play, drink some water. I have a lot of like sinus issues, so I'm always doing like a bunch of shit right before we play to like get my voice like healthy and my throat like not dry, and so that usually eats up a good chunk of the time.
If you could collaborate with one artist, living or dead, who would that be?
Dave Blunt's.
Dave. I'm actually seeing him next month. That's super fun.
But actually, probably, man, I don't know. We were hanging out with Zach from Fiddler, the singer of Fiddler,
Oh, nice, yeah.
a few days ago, and we were talking about putting some stuff together. So that'd be a dream for me. I love that guy and all the stuff he makes. So I think just getting to work with him would be probably the collab. I think that would be really cool, but also would probably result in like the best sounding music.
What's your favorite album cover art?
Ooh, favorite album cover art. Do you guys have any that jump out at you?
Instruments of Mutilation by Full of Hell.
Okay.
I remember like I used to like listen to that record, but I couldn't look at the album cover because it was just so like fucked up. And it's just like a whole bunch of really like concerning like images like stitched together, and it just makes you feel like really really uncomfortable. And that kind of reflects the music a lot. And I feel like you can just look at it and you know exactly how every single second of that record is going to sound.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I was gonna say "Worry" by Jeff Rosenstock. It's kind of that same way.
What's the Blue Teenage Race song? Is that subtitle?
Chrome Neon Jesus.
From Neon Jesus. Teenage Race. 'Cause he's just like sitting in an empty pool. He's just sitting in an empty pool. It looks really cool, and I like the album title. It's my favorite album title.
So I was listening to the song Grandpa
Whoa.
from your first project, and I
That's
know
like the
this might.
oldest.
Yeah, that's. I know this might be a tough question to answer,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's up to you. But I was wondering, what's your most profound memory with your grandpa?
So I actually never met the grandpa that I wrote that song about. He died right before I was born. But my other grandpa passed when I was like 14, and it was probably just like being very young and shooting shotguns with him. When I was like totally not. Like you'd be like having to hold one hand. I'm like, all right, let her go. So that was always fun.
And then in Kirby's Down B, when the chorus hits, there's a little pretty synth in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how that came about and if that's something you're going to be experimenting with more.
I really want to start working that more in. We don't do any of that kind of stuff live because we only have 4 members. That came in on that song especially because it was like really influenced by like Bomb the Music Industry and a lot of these like chiptune kind of sounds and like pop punk. And I wanted to put some of that in, and it also makes sense thematically with kind of the retro video game kind of aesthetic. And so I just thought it was like a perfect fit, and like added something that like the song really needed. And I'm glad I put it in because like every time I listen to it, I'm like, I'm proud of that. And I had to like program it all myself, and that took forever. So whenever I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I did okay on that.
You played it for one stop.
Yeah, we did. We played with it one. We had one time. We had a buddy going ding 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 ding, and that was it.
Okay. And then final question, are there any upcoming projects you'd like to tease or plug?
No, we just put out an EP called Spring Break, and so right now we're just kind of back to the lab, trying to come up with some new stuff, come up with a new full length that we can put out and be really proud of. So nothing yet at the moment, but by the end of the year there should be something pretty cool on the horizon, unless I get too busy playing, like unless some really cool video games come out or something. And none of that.
Switch
doesn't-
2.
Yeah,
Switch 2.
until Switch 2 comes out, and then that doesn't happen.
Yeah, is there going to be a Switch 2 reference at some point? It could be, you know, they got the new Air Riders coming
I think
out.
a lot of this next record is going to be about the fact that I just play way too many video games nowadays. Since I moved into my new apartment, and like that's like all I do. It's just hang out and get mad at online games.